Welcome everybody to IC 2018 here in Amsterdam. We've got Dave Haynes, 69 with us. Dave, hi.
Here we are again.
Day 3.
Yes.
Had a good week?
One more.
One more to go.
Yeah, good show. I mean, it's insanely crowded. I don't know how many people they've had there.
You've been a few years now. Did you come before it was a 4-day show?
This is my 3rd year, so I think it was the first year when they had a 4-day show.
Yeah, okay, so you've always experienced 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's insanely big. Now you said we've been reading your daily updates, so Dave's been producing some great synopsises of the day.
Except for today, because I was late.
Yeah, I had a little bit. The blog post ended, I'm late, I gotta go, sort of thing.
Shit.
But some good stuff, and you've obviously been walking the floor and...
Walking and walking.
More than most people. What's your impressions apart from it being insanely busy?
There's one hell of a lot of interactive whiteboards. I don't know if the world needs that many. It's almost like digital signage. CMSs, the world doesn't need that many.
Right.
I know I talk about this every year when we chat, but there's more.
Okay.
There's yet more.
You like the flip thing from Samsung
Love
a lot,
it.
I think?
Love it. That's great. It's not really digital signage, but it's a neat product.
Interactive product.
Yeah. I was interested in, I just did a report recently about fine pitch LED.
Yeah.
Free download.
You should. Very good report.
Yeah,
very good report.
I've had really good response to that.
I mean, you spent ages doing that. You can tell from the work put in. And
I went to Shenzhen, went to Taiwan.
Is there anything here that would make you add something to it? Because that may be a good test. Because the report you should download, by the way.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you'd add to it? Is there an addendum or appendix now you've seen something here?
Well, I kind of hinted at some products that were probably going to be shown here, and they are being shown here. There's 2 or 3 vendors that have them, and one of the problems with fine pitch LED is they have these little light packages, and if they put them in public places like a transit terminal or an airport or something like that, somebody could walk by and intentionally or unintentionally brush against it, and it's going to pull off those little light packages, which are very expensive and very fragile.
Right.
There are 2 or 3 companies that I've seen, and I saw previews when I was in Shenzhen, where they've done something where they call it a silicone coating. Or an emulsion or something that sits on top of the LEDs and protects them.
Okay.
So in effect, they feel like ceramic tiles.
Right. Okay.
So what that means is in an airport or some other public space, you could actually walk right alongside of it, run your hand along it, or even
you bounce a ball
toss
or
water on it,
Yeah.
and it would survive.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Which makes it much more realistic to apply to something like a digital out-of-home project, because otherwise those things get the shit beat out.
And you made mention of, how far can it go down in pixel pitch and things? Is that important these days, or?
Layard has a 0.7, so another company has a 0.8, but once you're getting down to that level, you're packing so many pixels, so many LED chips, which are the real cost of LEDs, that the cost is insanely high.
Right.
And the difference between a pixel pitch of an LCD and an LED when you're getting to that point is like a micron or something.
Right.
You barely you wouldn't notice. And one of the guys from Layard said, nobody bitches about the pixel pitch of an LCD.
Right.
So we're almost there. So you can stand really close to these things now, and they look gorgeous.
Yeah. So we've seen lots of LED. There's probably more LED this year than before. There's even more LED in the whole 15.
Yeah,
so there's a lot.
It's everywhere. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of.
And what about the digital signage hall? Hall 8. I
finally got there today.
Okay, because your first 2 reports didn't mention the digital signage hall.
I didn't get there. It's it's a huge hall. A huge facility. You got to walk all the way back.
So what's the big thing to see? Scala have got a big stand in there, of course, but there's lots of LED people in there.
Yeah, you got a whole mismatch of things. You got audio encoders and everything else. So they call it a digital signage pavilion, and it is. But there are definitely some other folks there, and I know they talk about there being 450 digital signage vendors here. But if you walk around, you will see all kinds of people in the AV industry who digital signage is an oh by the way.
Right.
They do a whole bunch of other things, and this is something that somehow or other they support. So I think more realistically, there's like 200 maybe. So it's kind of a parity with DSC.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll stay for day 4, Friday.
Yep.
You'll use that for longer meetings or a bit more relaxed walking around, or?
Yeah, I've started to do that today, where I was able to sit down with guys like Signage Live and Navori and some of the vendors like that, and kind of go through what they're up to, where they're going with things. I'm particularly curious. I've been asking a lot of questions about system on chip, and because I've written about that in the past, and there are 2 camps.
Okay.
One camp says this is the way things are going. The other camp says it's not secure, it's at risk, it's not powerful enough, and everything else. And generally speaking, with the exception of the detractors, and most people tend to say, this is real, this is sticking, it's getting very powerful.
Right.
I think the major display guys still have some work to do to get themselves organized and properly supporting the vendors, because sometimes they'll push out new firmware and they haven't really told the software guys, and suddenly something doesn't work.
Something changes,
So you have display companies trying to behave like software companies, and it doesn't always translate well.
Right.
But they're getting there.
Okay. So what other events are you going to do this year?
DSC and then Infocom. No, I won't actually. I was going to say I may finally go to London Digital Signage Week, but
you should come.
I probably would, but I'm probably moving right around then,
okay.
So I don't think I should leave that to my wife.
Well, I would.
I have in the past.
It's April the 30th to May the 4th, and you can box some things up, and when you come back, you move house. Simple. That'll be good.
Yeah, back to say.
And you're doing some stuff at DSC. You always got a couple of speaking gigs at DSC. Anything?
Yeah,
I'm
refereeing a panel in the Digital Out of Home Summit.
Okay.
Rich Ventura keeps bugging me about what it is I'm supposed to be doing, and someday I'll reread that email and remember what it is, but I haven't yet. And then I do the mixer, and the mixer gets. If anybody's watching this, the tickets will go up next week, as long as I get my act together. Same venue, same everything. I've got all the sponsors. Sponsors go like that. Same kind of format. 2 drinks, chat, no loud music. I was at the Peerless party last night.
Bit loud.
Lots of fun, but a bit loud and a bit crazy, and thankfully I extricated myself at midnight.
Good. Dave, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you for not calling me a dog's bollocks.